Hi guys, in this video tutorial, I'm gonna show you how you can use one of the webinar tool called Webinarjam to to build your webinar registration page and also to run your webinar. And so before I get into it, I want to show you I want to share with you a quick story about how I discovered this. I think when I get started and try to figure out what will be the best tool to run the webinar, I spend a lot of time on trying to figure out. I spend a lot of time on watch a lot of YouTube video, to find out. Okay, initially I want to find out what will be the cheapest one because I don't want to spend so much money. I haven't done any webinar before, so I learning about like use Zoom. For some of you, if you heard about Zoom, I like Zoom meeting. ZOOM, and then I think that is great to run to run the just to do one-on-one meeting, but for webinar it's not good because they don't have many features and to do a sales presentation. And example I can give to you is they have number of the people can attend the Zoom is too small. That's number one. Number two is you have to build a registration page. They don't have a registration page for you. Their registration page is just so simple, so blank. So it's not really good for converting people into your webinar or to register. And they don't have a thank you page, and they don't also have a email follow-up system, and so on and so forth. And also, I also research some other webinars as well, like GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is every traditional, but it's like corporate. It's really expensive as well. And so I spend a lot of time trying to compare what will be the best tool and to basically run the webinar. And so Webinarjam is so far I think the most powerful and most cost-effective way I've ever found and to run webinar. But if you are going to use Webinarjam, just use a link I give to you. Why? Because I'm going to give you a lot of the bonus and the offer as well. So sure, you can just go to Webinarjam and buy it. But also if you can just use a link, sure, I'm going to get some benefit. But what I can do is you are going to get a lot of the value from me if you use a link I give to you. And so here I wanted to show you how first one you have to, by the way, you just have to use a link I give to you and buy it. And so they give you like a 14-day trial. You pay like $1 to do 14-day trial after 14 days, and then you are going to basically start paying them. But it's really good, and 14 days should be enough for you to run one webinar. So once you got away, then you just need to log in. And so basically I just show you once you log in what's it look like. So this is basically login, and once you log in, I'm just going to show you and the webinar. So you are going to add a webinar. So this is the button. Once you add a webinar, I'm just going to show you the one we already done. So then we choose ready in next second. This is something you are going to ready now. And most of the time we don't take this approach because we are going to take this one and take about 10 minutes. So this is a webinar would be take a time, and we need to schedule as well. So we just click this one and schedule for later. So that's the one we wanted to take because we wanted to schedule for later on. And once this part has been done, and what's going to happen is then you just go through the basic setting. So you are going to go through the webinar title, name. By the way, this one is for your reference. So the people cannot see it, but this one it is a public. They can see it. So what is the webinar about? Then your webinar description, the public can see as well. And if you want to have a thumbnail, you can have a thumbnail. And normally I don't do that because it doesn't really. Then the language. Then yes, this in the demand section. What I mean is that means your webinar will be in the directory. They have a directory what people can attend, what kind of webinar as well, of course. And if you wanted to reach the people, so they give you a category of the here. What kind of direction you want to be? You are in the health, finance, money, and yeah. Once you've done that, then webinar presenter, that's going to be you. So put your name and your email address. This is the email address you are going to use to send out the email notification to the people register your webinar, by the way. Then streaming service, you want to use Webinarjam Live, and YouTube Live, you may want to use later on. In this case, you use Webinarjam Live. Okay, once you've done this step, and then next one would be schedule. So you wanted to have a schedule. So when do you want to do one single session or multiple session or recurring session? And most likely, and do if that is your first time, do one single session. So you just choose a day and the time, and the time zone as well. So people can register webinar, allow time zone conversion. Yes, really important. If you're running webinar which target people from different time zone, then you want to have a time zone conversion. So this one has been finished, and then you are going to have a registration page design. So this is why I would suggest you use Webinar, because they do have a template for you. There are some other webinar software, they just don't have a template. You just have to find some other software to design it. So they got a good template for you. So when you click it, and you just basically okay, so you just basically what are you gonna do is you choose a webinar topic, and then you put a topic here.
Without
this is I did it, so just have a video sales later. I choose the one have a video, tell people what is a webinar. So this will be the webinar registration page, and people is going to click the button and register your webinar. Then you're gonna put it like a little bit description here, so tell people what is a webinar about. Really simple. And so save and exist. So once you've done that part, and second part is a registration form. So basically it is a what kind of the detail you want to ask. Here I wanted to explain to you where is I select this one, maybe select this one. Well, whatever you select, that is okay. They just give you a different type of template. I would suggest a long form one, because on mobile it's just easy for people to sign up. Then this is the registration field. You want to have the people's name, first name, last name, email, mobile, and because you are going to send the people SMS reminder. I've let you know most people don't check the email, or they do check the email, but most of your email is going to the spam folder, and most people receive too much email. It's really important to ask them to fill the SMS like a phone number, so you can. Let's say when you after webinar, when you follow up, it's so much easier as well. You can call them. If you just have the email address, we need to follow up is so hard. So once you finish that part, then auto subscription for future webinar, I also enable it, because in the future, if this is the first time I'm running webinar, in the future I want to run in other webinar, I want to enable it so they don't have to subscribe again. And free registration, of course, is free. If you never done webinar before, free is the best option. And password protection, no. In this case, once you finish this part, email gateway. So and first you want it to be simple, just use Webinarjam email. I found that their email is pretty good, because if you use other email like a Mailchimp, you have to integrate, and also sometimes they don't send to the inbox. So use the email they already got, and then you want to send the people notification as well. This is really important. And so when people register the webinar, if you don't send the link, they are not going to get this link. They don't know how they're going to get it into webinar. So you wanted to have send them like a confirmation. Of course, you can edit as well. So you can, basically, this is a webinar link. And then also you want to send them like a 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or 10 minutes before webinar. So people, getting the reminder. Because if the people don't constantly get reminders, they're going to forget about it. A lot of people I found out, they are so busy. And also after webinar, you send a notification. If you are promote or sell any product or services, you may create urgency, say, the discount will be gone, the bonus will be gone, and so on and so forth. So once this part has been finished, next part would be email autoresponder integration. So like I use Mailchimp, there are so many other things you can choose. So you just basically and integrate it, and then they show you step by step and how to do as well. Once you finish, and third-party tracking tool. So basically, if the people has come to the webinar and but they didn't sign up, or they sign up but they didn't buy, you wanted to, let's say in the future, you want to get people come back into webinar. Let's say this is for the people who went to your registration page but have never registered your webinar, and you want to get people to come back because you don't have these people's name, email, and mobile. So people come to your registration page but they didn't register. This is what you can do. And so if you just go to Facebook, and then you just go to something called Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, go to the Facebook Ad Manager. That's what I go to. So once you are in the Facebook Ad Manager, and this is what you can do. So once you are in the Facebook Ad Manager, and then there are a couple options you can choose, and one of the options is choose something called an Event Manager. So Event Manager is this one. So Facebook Ad Manager, and go to, then they're gonna show you option on the right hand side. Then you're gonna choose something called an Event Manager. So when you choose the Event Manager, and that is where you are going to get is a Facebook ad retargeting pixel. Basically just a piece of code, and then you can use the code install into the Webinarjam. Then you can run the retargeting ads to target the people later on. That is why I would suggest you go there. So I'm just going to yes, so just choose this and review publish. No, my internet is a bit slow, but you can find out there is something called a event manager there. So you go to an event manager, then they're gonna show you something called a pixel. Then you just continue the pixel setup, manually set up, then copy the code, and then paste here. So that's really straightforward as well. And continue and turn on. You don't have to worry about this. Then open event setup tool, and that's all you need to worry about it. So install the code here. I'm just gonna show you. Yeah. So business tool. And event manager is here. So when you click this one, and this one will be open. So that is the step. Of course, there are some other tracking tool, but at the stage, just stay on basic. What I mean, you just use the Facebook tracking. That should be enough. And then you finish. Then you to default a customer confirmation page. So you just choose their confirmation page. They got a confirmation page for you. And then survey if you want to have a survey, then you just use a survey. And just before it, I normally don't do this, and because you wanted to get them to sign up, so you don't want you may send them survey to the email, so they got time to do a survey. And thank you page design, and so you can use a thank you page. And what kind of thank you page? They have a template for you as well. And then next will be countdown page template. So countdown, basically it is before your webinar started, what is a countdown page? So timer as well. That template for you, and waiting room design, and same as well, and poll and quiz. If you wanted to basically ask some question, get some engagement in your webinar, so you can use this. And product offer. So if you only have any product, then you can add your offer as well. So basically put your offer name and put your headline and put what's the price, and then what you can do is how people are going to pay for it. And so the button link, you can put a PayPal link here, and then get people to pay for it. So that is how do it. You can also have an image and here as well, so people like to see visually what your offer is about. You don't have to have any paid offer. You can just get people to book appointment. So people can click a link to book appointment as well. Video injection. So if you wanted to insert any video inside a webinar, you can do this as well. And a file handout. If you have any like a PDF file and a Word document want to hang out to people, and you can do that as well. So slide presentation finish and webinar reply recording. I would suggest you enable this. Why? Because some people miss the webinar. You want to record it. Then you record it, then you just give them a replay. and expiration date as well. Let's say maybe expired in in couple days and 24 hours. And our users application, yes. And so if they have any question, and you just activate the question box and next. So that's all done. So that is the whole process to get your webinar set up. Once you set up, then you can invite people, like just say in a Facebook event like I showed you. And so you say you got a Facebook event. What is a Facebook event? Yeah, let's say you got an event, then you can invite people to that event, and so people can attend the webinar. Then you can convert the leads. Now convert the friend list like I showed you. These people into your paid client. So these people in your friend list. Yeah, these people. So in your friend list, convert them into your qualified prospect or even paid client. And this is the process how to do it. And this is the process I have done it, and as well. Yeah, great. So I will talk to you more about how to create a webinar presentation that convert pretty much in the next session. And just remember, if you wanted to get this one, use the link I give to you. Why? Because the link I give to you, I get some benefit, but also I will give you also some other bonus and offer as well to help you to help you set up this properly. So if you just use a link I give to you, and then you will be able to set this up. And yeah, that's all. And I will talk to you how to create a webinar presentation in next tutorial.